Have you ever found yourself picking the safe option,
Oh, definitely.
even if you sort of suspected there might be something better out there?
Yeah, just because you knew exactly what you were getting.
Right. A restaurant, maybe, or a vacation spot,
Right.
maybe even a job choice.
We've all done it.
Yeah, that little pull to avoid the unknown, the fuzzy, the what if.
Yeah.
It feels, well, almost instinctual. It's not just a quirk, is it?
Not at all. It's actually, pretty foundational to how we operate. It influences everything.
Everything.
From tiny personal decisions right up to, well, the structures of global society. It's what we're calling the science of humans avoiding uncertainty.
And that's our deep dive today. We're going to unpack this really complex human tendency, and we're looking beyond just psychology, right?
Sure.
We're diving into sociology, biology, philosophy, history.
Even computation. And AI plays a really pivotal role here.
Right, in helping us understand it, but also raising some big questions, I imagine.
Absolutely. By the end of this, you, our listeners, should have a real shortcut to being well-informed on this. You'll get some surprising insights, I think, and maybe some actionable takeaways, too.
About how we navigate the unknown and how AI is, well, shaping that journey.
Exactly.
Okay, so if we're all doing this, what is uncertainty avoidance technically? And why does it feel so primal?
Well, at its core, uncertainty avoidance is simply how uncomfortable people or whole groups feel with things being ambiguous or changing.
So it's about tolerance.
Yeah, tolerance for the unknown, how much risk we can stomach. And if you want to see this play out on a big scale, you really have to look at Geert Hofstede's work.
The cultural dimensions guy.
That's the one. His research was groundbreaking. It showed that cultures vary massively in how comfortable they are with uncertainty.
Okay, give us some examples. How does that actually look?
Well, take cultures with high uncertainty avoidance. Think Greece, Portugal, Japan. They genuinely prefer structured environments. Clear rules, established ways of doing things, and often, a strong resistance to anything new or different.
So you'd see that in, like, company policies.
Rigid company policies, definitely.
Right.
Or in schools, maybe an expectation for one single right answer.
Yeah.
Communication tends to be very formal, explicit.
Right, less room for interpretation.
Exactly. And people in those societies often experience higher levels of anxiety when things feel unpredictable.
So it's not just, oh, I prefer rules. It's a deeper discomfort that actually shapes their society.
Right.
That feels like it goes beyond just learned culture, maybe.
It does.
Yeah.
Now, contrast that with cultures known for low uncertainty avoidance. Places like, say, the U.S., Sweden, maybe China.
No, more adaptable.
Much more adaptable, yeah. More open to new ideas, comfortable with fewer rules, more flexible structures.
And in schools there?
You'd find more open-ended discussions. Teachers might even say, I don't actually know the answer to that, which reflects a different view of truth, maybe, that it's something to be explored. And communication's often more informal, allows for more spontaneity. But it's crucial to remember this is a spectrum,
Now black and white.
Not at all. Even smaller groups, companies, teams, even families have their own unique levels of tolerance for uncertainty.
And isn't there just a natural human thing, too? Resisting change, even good change, just because the unknown feels like a potential threat. Like our brains are just, wired for caution.
Exactly right. Our brains use mental shortcuts. We call them cognitive biases and heuristics to deal with uncertainty. Carly, efficient, yes, but
They lead to mistakes.
predictable errors in judgment, yeah. Take ambiguity aversion. We often prefer a known risk over an unknown one, even if the known odds are actually worse.
That's the Ellsberg paradox, isn't it?
Precisely. The classic example. People would rather bet on a coin flip known 50-50 chance than draw from a bag with an unknown mix of red and black balls.
Even if the bag might have better odds.
Right. Because the uncertainty itself is uncomfortable. You see this in real life, people avoiding the stock market, maybe putting off medical treatments with uncertain outcomes.
It's avoiding that mental maybe. And we see similar things with normalcy bias, that it won't happen to me feeling.
Yep. Or the ostrich effect, just ignoring bad news.
Burying your head in the sand.
Literally.
Yeah.
And regret aversion, trying to avoid feeling bad later. Zero risk bias, wanting to eliminate a tiny risk completely instead of just reducing a bigger one.
And the availability heuristic, overestimating things that just happened or are easy to recall.
Exactly. The common thread is our brain trying to save time, but tripping us up when things are uncertain. Recognizing these is like the first step to being more rational about it.
And it all connects back to evolution, doesn't it? That drive for patterns, consistency, it was vital for survival way back when.
Absolutely vital. It helped our ancestors predict dangers, find food, understand group dynamics, reducing immediate threats. That fundamental need for certainty explains why ambiguity feels so uncomfortable.
And you can see how society built ways to cope.
For sure. Things like technology, legal systems, even religious frameworks, they often grew from this deep psychological need to reduce collective anxiety. Lots of cultural norms and institutions basically provide predictability.
But these shortcuts, adaptive back then,
Can lead to systematic errors now in our complex, fast-changing world.
so what's the societal cost of this deep drive for certainty? Is there a hidden downside we often miss?
There definitely is. A really critical, often overlooked consequence is how it fuels the creation of in-groups and out-groups.
Oh, us versus them.
Exactly. Institutions like religion, law, guilds, but often they did it by explicitly or implicitly excluding others.
Can you give an example?
Well, tragically, think about Jewish communities in medieval Europe being blamed for things like the Black Death. It was fueled by anti-Jewish sentiment, sure, but also the general fear and uncertainty of the times. It led to horrific persecutions.
The scapegoat for the unknown.
Precisely. Or think about historical guilds. They offered security to members, yes, but they often actively discriminated against women, the poor, minorities, keeping them out.
Wow. So it's a strange paradox, isn't it? Seeking internal certainty and cohesion.
Can actually lead directly to external intolerance and conflict.
It's like that need for certainty, if it's unchecked, becomes a force for division. Okay, let's shift gears. How deep does this go? Is this discomfort literally wired into our bodies? The biology.
Yes, it absolutely is. Uncertainty about future threats is a direct trigger for anxiety. Now, some anticipatory anxiety is good. It helps us prepare.
Right, keeps us on our toes.
But it can easily become excessive, maladaptive, when it's way out of proportion to the actual threat.
And brain science shows this.
Yeah, neuroscience research clearly shows key brain regions, especially parts of our defensive system, lighting up when unknowns increase.
Like the amygdala.
The amygdala, the BNST. These areas become highly active. We even see consistently that animals and humans prefer predictable negative things, like a shock they know is coming over unpredictable ones.
So predictability itself reduces stress, even if the outcome is bad.
Exactly. Predictability offers a sense of control, or at least preparedness.
Which makes sense of the behavioral inhibition system, the BIS, and this idea of intolerance of uncertainty, or IU.
Precisely. The BIS theory suggests unknown situations are inherently treated as potential danger, activating this system. And IU, well, that's basically how much someone struggles with the bad feelings that come from not having, or feeling like they don't have, enough information.
And how much we struggle with that varies.
Hugely. Our individual tolerance, our susceptibility to anxiety disorders, it's a complex mix. Genetics play a role, sure.
Specific genes even.
Yeah, polymorphisms like 5-HT1A, 5-HTT are implicated, but environmental factors are massive too. Things like lower education, low income, difficult childhood experiences, parental styles.
Okay, so it's nature and nurture.
Definitely. But, and this is really hopeful, a crucial finding from the research is that our responses to unknowns seem to be modifiable.
Ah, so we're not just stuck with our wiring.
Not entirely, no. It suggests we can actually learn to become more comfortable with uncertainty. We can change our response patterns. That's a really powerful takeaway.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, uncertainty has a real, measurable, physiological cost. Anxiety, stress. It's a biological imperative.
For survival,
But it's not fixed. We
Right.
can work on it. That's incredibly empowering.
It really is. Now, if we shift again to philosophy, certainty is often seen as like the gold standard of knowledge.
The highest form.
Right. But there's a difference between being psychologically certain, feeling totally convinced, and being epistemically certain, meaning having the highest possible justification.
Okay.
And then there's this important philosophical stance called fallibilism.
Fallibilism.
Yeah, it basically says you can still have knowledge even if your true belief could have possibly turned out to be false. Absolute perfect certainty isn't actually required for knowing things.
So, like, pretty sure is often good enough.
Often, yeah. What philosophers might call moral certainty is usually sufficient for navigating practical life.
Which makes me think of that Voltaire quote. Uncertainty is an uncomfortable position, but certainty is an absurd one.
Yes, exactly. It's such a paradox. We're wired to seek consistency, sure, but clinging too rigidly to absolute certainty. That can be really counterproductive.
How so?
It can lead to jumping to conclusions too quickly, resisting new information that contradicts what you think you know for sure. It creates a narrow, inflexible worldview.
Which ironically limits your ability to adapt and grow.
Precisely. The antidote to that rigidity is intellectual humility.
Recognizing you don't know everything.
And being open to new ideas, yeah. Tolerating uncertainty actually builds resilience, flexibility, creativity, better problem solving, all the stuff you need in a world that's constantly changing.
So it's a fundamental trade-off, isn't it? The immediate comfort we get from feeling certain versus the long-term problems of being too rigid.
Absolutely. The sweet spot is tolerance.
Finding that balance.
And if we connect this back to AI, it's a potential game changer. Well, if human knowledge itself is inherently uncertain, fallible, then AI's ability to systematically quantify and manage uncertainty. That positions it as an indispensable augmentative tool.
Not a replacement for us.
No, a tool to help us deal with the uncertainty we already face.
Which brings us perfectly to how AI is shaking up our understanding of all this.
It really is.
Mhm.
We're seeing the emergence of psychological AI.
Psychological AI?
Yeah, it's a field applying insights from human psychology to algorithms, especially for messy, real-world situations, ill-defined problems, or large worlds where information is incomplete.
Like large language models. LLMs.
LLMs are a great example. They're getting really good at quantifying uncertainty and even aligning with human preferences.
How do they do that? Quantify uncertainty.
Well, they can identify key uncertain variables in a situation. Then they assign probability scores, often based on analyzing huge amounts of data, like historical crop yields or stock prices, you name it.
So turning fuzzy possibilities into numbers.
Right. Converting those, often natural language-based scores, into numerical probabilities. And then they can make decisions or recommendations with measurable confidence levels.
Okay, that's clever.
And crucially, they can try to align those recommendations with what humans actually prefer by modeling what different stakeholders value. Think about diagnostic support in medicine or personalized financial advice.
So AI is moving beyond just number crunching. It's tackling subjective stuff, like choosing between medical treatments.
Exactly. By trying to translate those qualitative outcomes into individualized quantitative values, it allows for a much more rigorous look at decisions that used to feel purely personal or intuitive.
Yeah, it's quite something.
And what's really fascinating is how AI can function as a kind of metacognitive tool.
A metacognitive tool.
Meaning it externalizes uncertainty, it makes it objective. It can help us humans see our own cognitive biases, understand where our own uncertainty is coming from. It's like holding up a mirror to our thinking process.
Helping us be more rational.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah. But that sounds incredibly powerful. Which raises the question of trust, doesn't it? We can't just blindly follow what some black box AI tells us.
You're hitting on a critical point, absolutely critical. And that's where explainable AI, or XAI, comes in.
XAI. Explainable AI.
Right. XAI is all about the processes and methods that allow us humans to understand and ultimately trust what AI systems are doing and why.
Essential for high-stakes stuff.
Absolutely essential. Credit decisions, medical diagnoses, legal assessments. Anywhere the consequences are serious, XAI aims to turn those opaque black box models into systems we can actually interpret, revealing the logic underneath.
And a big part of that is bias, right? AI learning our own biases.
A primary function, yes. Identifying and helping mitigate algorithmic bias. Because AI learns from data, and if that data reflects existing societal biases...
The AI learns them too. And maybe even amplifies them.
Exactly. It can replicate and even amplify them. Think of sampling bias.
It's like not enough data from certain groups.
Right. Maybe the hiring algorithm trained mostly on male profiles ends up favoring male candidates without anyone intending it to.
Okay.
Or historical bias, perpetuating past discrimination, like a credit scoring system that disadvantages minorities because historical lending patterns were biased.
Even if the current data seems okay.
Right. The past is baked in. And then there's labeling bias. That's where subjective human judgments during data collection mess things up. Maybe sentiment analysis tools start associating certain dialects with negative emotions because of how the training data was labeled.
Wow. And just because an AI is accurate
does not guarantee it's fair or unbiased. That's a vital point. High accuracy can hide significant bias.
So XAI isn't just about understanding the tech.
No.
It's a fundamental bridge for human trust. It tackles that black box problem, our aversion to the unknown AI.
It does, and it has this profound implication, really. XAI can act as a powerful mirror for humanity itself.
A mirror?
Yeah, it forces us to confront the deep-seated societal patterns and biases that AI, in its learning process, brings to the surface.
So AI development becomes a moment for societal self-reflection.
It really could be. Now, when we talk about AI reasoning, it's often not about simple, clear-cut rules. It's about handling information that's incomplete, ambiguous, probabilistic.
Messy, like the real world.
Exactly. AI uses various approaches: probabilistic models, assigning numerical probabilities, Bayesian network.
Spam filters used.
Right, or self-driving cars navigating traffic. They update probabilities dynamically based on new information. Fuzzy logic is another approach.
For imprecise concepts, like warm.
Exactly. Dealing with degrees of truth, like a thermostat that adjusts based on whether it's a bit warm or really warm, but there are always trade-offs for the developers.
Balancing accuracy versus
computational cost versus how easy it is for humans to understand what the AI is doing. Interpretability.
And how does that compare to how we reason, human thinking?
Well, it contrasts quite sharply sometimes. We humans are often surprisingly good with incomplete info, but we use different logic, like non-monotonic logic, meaning we can withdraw conclusions if new information comes along. We change our minds. We also use default reasoning, assuming things are normal until proven otherwise, and abduction.
Forming the best guess.
Kinda. Forming plausible explanations, the simplest explanation, even if it's not guaranteed to be true. We build mental models, aim for useful, concise conclusions, not necessarily absolute, mathematically proven truth.
So AI isn't just a faster version of us. It thinks differently.
Often, yes. Which is why its optimal role, I think, is to complement our intuition, provide that rigorous check against our biases, especially when the stakes are high and the situation is complex.
A partner, not a replacement.
Exactly. You know, I sometimes think of a conceptual parallel here, like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle in physics.
Okay.
Maybe there's an uncertainty principle in human AI cognition. The more precisely AI quantifies uncertainty, perhaps the less intuitive its reasoning feels to us, and vice versa.
So a trade-off between AI's analytical power and our ability to grasp it easily.
Potentially. It might mean we sometimes need to coarsen AI outputs, simplify them just to make them understandable and trustworthy for broader human use.
That's a fascinating thought. Okay, let's pivot slightly. How does this core human fear of the unknown play out in bigger societal conflicts?
Well, think about xenophobia, the fear or dislike of foreigners or the unknown. It's a powerful driver of anxiety, isn't it? It can lead to real distress, irrational choices.
Blaming the other.
Right. Research shows that our own feelings of personal uncertainty are a major predictor of negative reactions to people perceived as different or socially deviant. It fuels exclusion, anger, intergroup conflict.
So tackling societal aggression means understanding this underlying need for certainty.
It's a huge part of it, and this is where we face a really significant risk with AI getting smarter.
The manipulation angle.
Exactly. AI's sophisticated understanding of our cognitive biases, our uncertainty triggers, it could be exploited by malicious actors, by manipulative leaders. They could use AI-driven tools to reduce perceived uncertainty for their in-group, offering simple narratives, propaganda, while simultaneously amplifying fear and uncertainty about outgroups.
Undermining critical thinking, reinforcing divisions.
Yes, and potentially eroding the healthy ambiguity and serendipity that makes human experience rich. The stakes here are huge, potentially large-scale psychological control. It just highlights the urgent need for strong ethical safeguards.
Absolutely. And AI itself can perpetuate problems, right? Beyond manipulation.
Definitely. As we touched on with XAI, AI systems can amplify existing societal biases present in their training data, sampling bias, historical bias, labeling bias. They can lead to real persistent harm, especially for already marginalized groups. And again, high accuracy doesn't mean fairness.
And what about our own autonomy or choices?
That's another major concern. AI could constrain our choices. We might even self-restrict, limit our online activity, say, just to protect our privacy from pervasive AI monitoring.
Giving up freedom for perceived safety.
Or we might see agency transference. We start delegating more and more decisions to AI, maybe depriving ourselves of the chance to explore our own preferences, to learn from mistakes.
And the lines of identity could blur. You mentioned AI companions.
Right. Imagine AI companions designed to seem empathetic, to share goals. But what if they're actually cultivating false impressions while serving external agendas?
Yes.
It raises deep questions about human identity and connection.
Okay, this is getting heavy. So what can society do about these harmful behaviors linked to uncertainty avoidance, both human and AI-driven?
Well, we can draw a lot from moral philosophy and behavioral ethics. One key insight is that ethical or unethical actions are often operant behaviors.
Meaning they're influenced by the environment, not just innate character.
Exactly. They're learned and shaped by consequences. Concepts like moral satisficing, doing just enough ethically to feel okay, or social heuristics relying on group norms suggest that changing the environment or the peer group can actually shift behavior.
So it's not just about blaming individuals.
No. We need a patient, tolerant, understanding approach, especially when dealing with rule-breaking behavior that might stem from this intolerance of uncertainty.
What does that look like in practice?
It means, first, identifying and addressing the root causes. Maybe someone genuinely struggles to cope with ambiguity. It means providing feedback that helps people see things from others' perspectives, countering that natural egocentric bias.
Showing them the impact of their actions.
Right. It means modifying the environment where possible, reducing triggers for negative behavior, and promoting pro-social alternatives, fostering empathy, social awareness,
Helping skills.
supporting behavioral change with skill development, positive reinforcement. The goal should always be a reintegration, understanding the underlying mechanisms, and fostering a more tolerant community overall.
And the AI side of this, the black box.
Well, that opacity, that lack of transparency in many AI systems, directly clashes with our human need for certainty. It naturally erodes trust, especially in critical areas like healthcare or justice. It's a major barrier to responsible AI adoption.
And looking way down the road.
The really profound philosophical challenge is, if AI starts performing tasks we consider uniquely human, if it standardizes our interactions, what does that mean for human distinctiveness? What is our agency in an AI-dominated future? That's a huge, long-term question arising from this whole science of avoiding uncertainty.
Okay, so facing all that, what are the practical, actionable pathways forward? How do we cultivate resilience and aim for a more balanced future?
A huge piece of it starts in childhood. A child's early environment is absolutely crucial in shaping their relationship with uncertainty.
What kind of environment helps?
Supportive, structured kids need predictability, but also flexible. Environments that allow for exploration and mistakes within safe boundaries. That fosters resilience.
And education plays a big role here. We can teach this.
Definitely. Educational strategies should focus on building connections, empathy, strong social networks, promoting self-efficacy, maybe through helping others, like age-appropriate volunteering.
Maintaining routine, but with flexibility built in.
Yes. And teaching self-care, nutrition, exercise, sleep, finding joy. Helping kids learn to set reasonable, achievable goals. Taking small steps.
Nurturing a positive self-view, too. Remembering past successes.
Crucial. And maintaining perspective and hope, helping them see the bigger picture, understand that challenges are usually temporary.
And what about critical thinking specifically? How do we develop that alongside resilience?
Through lots of opportunities for play and experimentation, let kids tinker and explore. Parents can help by pausing before jumping in to fix things, letting the child reflect first.
Asking open-ended questions.
Yes. What ideas do you have? What do you notice? Encourage diverse ways of thinking, looking at different sources of information, and critically, parents modeling their own critical thinking process out loud. I wonder why that happened.
That makes sense. And specifically for tolerance of ambiguity, what can parents do?
It often starts with parents reflecting on their own beliefs, maybe outdated ones from their upbringing, consciously encouraging open, accepting minds, respect for diversity in all its forms.
Taking pride in your own culture, but extending that respect to others.
Exactly. Firmly disallowing discriminatory comments. Actively embracing diversity, positive images, books, maybe direct contact with diverse groups if possible.
Emphasizing we over me. Finding common ground.
Yes. Giving straightforward, honest answers to kids' questions about differences. Gently countering biased beliefs they might pick up. Modeling tolerance consistently is key.
What about handling tricky situations? New experiences?
Help kids predict potential challenges. Promote exercise and self-care as anxiety management tools. Acknowledge their effort when they hang in there during tough transitions. Encourage travel. New experiences show them they can learn and adapt even when things are unpredictable.
Sharing our own struggles helps too.
Immensely. Sharing personal experiences of challenges, setbacks, even failures normalizes the struggle and shows resilience in action.
And this is where AI can actually come in and help these educational efforts.
It really can. Think about AI-driven personalized learning platforms. They can tailor content to individual needs, bridge gaps, foster equity by giving everyone targeted support.
Identifying kids who might be struggling early.
Predictive analytics can help identify at-risk students needing extra support. Automated essay grading can provide faster feedback, freeing up teachers for more direct interaction.
And not just in STEM fields.
No. Absolutely not. Integrating AI with humanities, visual arts, literature can be powerful for teaching observation, perspective-taking, and tolerance for ambiguity, prompting questions like, what do you see that makes you say that? Moves learning beyond memorization towards adaptive problem-solving.
Okay, zooming out even further, if we think about the ideal scenario, nurturing a healthy, educated, well-adjusted child overall, what does that look like?
It's truly holistic. The foundation is the family unit, a safe, nurturing home, empathetic communication, positive parental role modeling, consistent routines.
The basics, but so important.
Absolutely fundamental. Then, you need robust community support systems. Things like early support programs for infants and toddlers, home visiting programs, initiatives like strengthening families.
Things that help the whole family unit.
Yes. Functional skills training, respite care for families under stress, summer camps, these all foster a sense of belonging and shared responsibility.
And what about inner skills? Emotional intelligence.
Crucial. Integrating emotional intelligence and a growth mindset into education and parenting. Helping kids identify and understand their emotions, develop healthy coping strategies.
Viewing challenges as opportunities.
Exactly. Teaching problem solving, perseverance through setbacks, and importantly, leaders. Parents, teachers, community leaders demonstrating emotional intelligence themselves creates stable, predictable environments where kids feel safe to learn and grow.
Okay, shifting back to the larger societal challenges, intolerance, conflict. Can AI help us there too?
I think it has significant potential. It could revolutionize conflict resolution, for instance, by enhancing decision-making and communication, by processing vast amounts of data to identify underlying patterns in conflicts, providing real-time translations and maybe even cultural context clarification during international meetings.
Predicting outcomes to help mediators.
Assisting mediators by modeling potential outcomes of different negotiation strategies, yes. And in peacekeeping operations, AI could monitor conflict zones, provide early warnings, help plan interventions. The legal community also has a huge role here, ensuring AI contributes positively to justice and fairness.
And societal interventions need to target those biases we talked about.
Yes, like hostile attribution bias, that tendency to interpret ambiguous actions as hostile. Contextual feedback, helping people see alternative interpretations, is effective. And remember, uncertainty isn't always bad. It can actually promote social inclusion if we focus on positive behaviors, even when negative traits are also present. People are complex.
Right. Which brings us back to that patient, tolerant approach to rule breaking.
Exactly. Addressing root causes, providing feedback, modifying environments, fostering empathy, supporting change. AI might help us understand these mechanisms better on a large scale and design more effective interventions.
So it feels like we're mapping out this incredibly complex system. You mentioned a schematic idea, like a visual map of this whole relationship.
Precisely. Imagine trying to draw it out. At the very center, you'd have human uncertainty avoidance.
The core driver.
Influenced by, on one side, our biological and genetic predispositions, the neural pathways, the genetic factors we discussed, and on the other, our psychological constructs, cognitive biases, individual tolerance levels, and also that philosophical need for certainty.
Okay, the human element.
These human factors then feed outwards into societal manifestations.
Like culture?
Cultural practices, yes. Shared ways of coping, traditions, institutions like religion, law, guilds remembering their dual nature, providing stability but also potentially exclusion. And this also leads to societal dynamics and conflicts, intolerance, aggression, xenophobia, manipulation.
The messy real-world outcomes.
Then, layered onto this, interacting with it all, is artificial intelligence, AI.
With its different facets.
Right. You'd have AI's analytical capabilities, modeling uncertainty, acting as that metacognitive tool, reasoning with incomplete data. Then, AI's ethical frameworks XAI for transparency, fairness, accountability, acting as that mirror for our biases.
And the impact on us.
Crucially, the impact on human autonomy, is it enhancing us or threatening us? That black box conflict, the challenge to human identity.
Okay, so you have the human, the societal, the AI.
And finally, flowing from all that, you have the pathways to a balanced future.
The solutions, the way forward.
Exactly. Cultivating resilience and tolerance through AI-informed education, family support, community programs, promoting tolerance and mitigating conflict using AI's analytical power for resolution, designing better societal interventions, and underpinning it all, ethical governance and policy.
Robust guidelines, regulation.
Absolutely. And the key to this whole schematic is that it's dynamic. It's a continuous feedback loop,
AI analysis informs human understanding,
which shapes our interventions and behavior.
which changes society and creates new data for AI.
Exactly. An ongoing cycle, hopefully moving towards a wiser, more resilient global society.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've taken today, mapping all that out. This science of humans avoiding uncertainty. It really is a complex tapestry, isn't it?
It truly is, with roots deep in our psychology, our biology, our history, our cultures.
And it's so clear that while that drive for certainty is innate, maybe even necessary to some degree, when it goes unchecked.
It can lead straight to rigidity, bias, intolerance, and conflict.
But AI emerges here as this uniquely powerful lens, a metacognitive tool, as you put it.
Offering unprecedented chances for more objective understanding, for self-reflection. And XAI holds such promise as that vital socio-technical bridge for trust.
But, and it's a big but, with that power comes immense responsibility. We've touched on the risks, manipulation, threats to autonomy.
It underscores the urgent need for robust safeguards, for transparency, for keeping human values absolutely central, ensuring AI augments us rather than diminishes the richness of human experience.
The actionable pathways forward seem clear, though. Starting from childhood, fostering tolerance, critical thinking, resilience through supportive environments, potentially aided by AI in education.
And developing those broader societal interventions, informed by a deeper understanding of bias and uncertainty, potentially guided by AI insights, to tackle aggression and division at their roots.
You know, ultimately, this quest for understanding, for harmony in a world that is uncertain, it's an ongoing human project, isn't it?
Always has been, always will be.
So maybe here's a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. What if, by truly understanding why we avoid uncertainty, we could consciously choose to embrace it more often? Not as a source of fear and division, but maybe, just maybe, as a catalyst for growth, for creativity, for innovation.
This is DigitView.